Mark, I really appreciate you taking the time to meet with me and to introduce me to something I'm really not familiar with. I do think it's a big part of the future in real estate investing. And given everything that's going on in the world, I think this should be a really fun conversation. How'd you get started in real estate in general? What's your story, your background, and...
Well, first, thanks for having me and coming and schlepping all the way up to the valley, all the way up to Visalia. So
my pleasure.
Great to have you here. Well, I got started. I came out of school in the Carter years, and there was no jobs in agriculture. I went to school for agriculture. Okay. So my first job was in Century City. I went to work back in the day. They had SBA loan packagers. Mm-hmm. And the SBA loan packaging business was basically a real estate backed deal. So I started by learning my real estate there. And then, if you can remember long enough ago, there used to be a company called the John Douglas Company.
Yeah. Okay.
And I went to work with Chris and Jack and John. Jack, which is John Douglas, is Jack. Mm-hmm. And went to work with them when they started that, and that's kind of how I got into the real estate business.
Was that a specific niche, like apartments?
Well, we did. Yeah, I did. I worked the Palms area back in the day, and sold apartments.
Wow.
Sold apartment buildings and duplexes and all that kind of stuff. So that was it.
So how did you go from that to making your own, sort of buying land and farming? What is the transition?
Well, I mean, there's the story in between of how we got there is that Santa Monica passed rent control, mm-hmm. and I moved to Houston, Texas, no zoning at all.
Right.
That's where I met my lovely wife, and wonderful, and so I started there, and I started just like everyone, kind of, at the bottom. Where you renovate a house or two, and then we built a duplex or two, and then we built a little bit of townhouses.
Okay.
And then the big crash came in Houston, and then from there we went and stayed in the entitlement business for a long time. I went across the country and did the entitlement business. We tried to get in front of back in the day where there used to be tax credit apartments. Mm-hmm. We used to try to get ahead of those guys and buy the land and entitle it and then flip it to Trammell Crow or Lincoln Properties or someone like that. So that was kind of the genesis that got me, really into the real estate business. I did those kind of on my own with just some high net worth individuals. Mm-hmm. And then we ended up back in California, started the same thing, kind of doing single family homes, and then in the crash 2008 2007 got into the hard money business.
Oh, okay.
And that was kind of the thought of the hard money business is kind of try to get investors that would be interested in getting into the investing in apartments.
Okay.
And it took from 2007 really to 2011 for the properties to come down far enough, where mm-hmm. the rents needed to burn off and adjust the price. So we started. We bought our first property over on Carmona, off La Cienega by the Target.
Okay.
In 2011, and we went from there, and we assembled 400 apartment units in the Baldwin Hills neighborhood.
Wow. Okay.
I did those with Steve Bram of George Smith Partners.
Yeah.
I'm sure many people will know Steve. Steve was a partner in those. We bought 30 some buildings, 400 units.
Wow. Okay.
$100,000 a door.
Wow. Oh, God, you can't find that these days. That's great.
No.
Yeah.
No.
California's gotten a little crazy with prices.
Yes.
But okay. Well, so do you have a background in farming or what's?
Well, I went to
agriculture.
I went to school for farming, but I through high school. I was in 4-H and FFA, which is Future Farmers of America, and I started to get, I had a chicken project and then lamb project, and then I had a beef project, and then I went to Cal Poly San Luis Obispo and studied agricultural business management.
Wow. Okay. What brought you to that? How did you hear about that? What piqued your
There's
curiosity?
just well, they say in the ag business, you do, you have, it's one of those things, you have it or you don't.
Right.
I mean, you just
Right.
you do or you don't. It's just you're either like farming or you don't.
Right.
It's hard to, I don't know how to explain that.
It's where your heart is, so that's what makes it interesting.